Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Amber Series 888. My name is Tanya. But I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you press that play button. Like on the way in, it gives me an energetic donation to the channel and it helps me tune into your energy. All right, let's do this. Now, there's been a full moon, so today is the official full moon, and I wanted to do a reading. So this is why I got up, showed up. So let's see what we have for the overall energy. And thank you, all of you who have liked, subscribed, and even checked out my channel. I certainly do appreciate you. All right, Spirit, what's the overall energy today on this full moon reading, baby? I did a smaller reading yesterday. I just stopped and did a reading in a parking lot because I was so impressed with the moon. But today's the fullest of the moon. So check that out if you get a chance. It's a shorter video, obviously. All right, Spirit, please give me, yes, thank you. Flying. Spirit, I love it. Who's flying, Spirit? Tell me some more. Get a couple of cards from this deck, because I love this deck. Somebody's flying. Education. Soaring. That's what I'm hearing. Soaring. Movement. I feel like this is all like one thing, like leaving is what I'm hearing. Flying high. Being educated. Movement. Okay. That's cool. All right, so let's see. What else do we got? So somebody is flying. I feel like this person is really happy. Like something is going well for this person. Leap of faith, maybe, something like that. It says that if you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life's challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. Today, you have invisible wings that allow you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. This is a sign that you're waiting for. This is a sign that your waiting is over, that all your hard work is paid off and the things you hope for are no longer beyond your scope. You have the ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. Spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you. Yeah, baby, yeah. So you have educated yourself on something that you are going to be successful in, and you're making bold moves. You're moving away from things. You're leaving behind things that no longer serve you. And it's only because, not because you don't, like, you're so much better than other people. I don't feel like that's your personality. I feel like it's really because when you raise your vibration, you're on a different wavelength than other people. Endings inevitably happen. You're no longer, I don't know, you're no longer not aligned with people, but it's just that it's like life puts you in a different place and leaves them, in a sense, behind because they need to do the same thing. But if they're happy where they are, wish them well. I feel like that's what's happening here. There's people that are no longer aligned with you. They're no longer, maybe they don't even agree with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? They just negative about it, or they don't understand it, or something to that effect. And it's like you no longer feel like you want to keep explaining yourself, make excuses for yourself, right? Your transformation is here. You're under a higher conscience. So it's kind of like this is the transformation that's here for this card. So you're flying high because you're transforming. You're excited about it. Maybe even told people about it and they were like, you know, a cold shower on a cold day. All of a sudden they were like dousing the flames or being negative about it. The higher conscience, so you're educating yourself on spirit. Spirit's going to bless you for that all day long, right? And this movement here is for peace. For peace. For no longer having to fight or even make excuses for your choices. That's what I feel like it is. Ooh, let me see. I gotta have a sip of coffee. And every time, and it happens a lot of times where when people educate themselves or they're excited about something new they're learning and they're so, I don't know, because they're so excited, they want to tell everybody their business, they want to tell everybody what they're learning, and not everybody is in line with that. Not everybody's ready to hear that stuff. And I feel like that's what it is. And for the life of you, you don't understand it, why it's such a big deal to some people. But they're really negative about it, or even like, if it's this, for instance, you're telling people about this, for instance, if you're learning about spirit, and they're more church-going religious people, I've talked about this before in other readings, all of a sudden they're wicked negative about it, and they're like downing you or saying you're going towards the devil, and you're like really tired of hearing that because that's not what you're doing. And they're just not understanding. They're not at that place. So they're never going to understand you. And you feel like, I'm done. I don't know, it could be even a person you're married to. It could be people in your family, like really close people, friends. They don't understand it, so they're going to destroy it. And for a long time, you tried to make it work, but you just keep changing and transforming. And more that happens, the more and more you're moving away from these people. Even if it's not physically, it's just emotionally or inside. I don't know. So it's kind of weird how to explain it. I wish Spirit could explain it to me better. It's like how to explain it to you, but it's like the transformation is changing everything. And even people are walking away from you because of it. And you just want peace. There's something to be said for peace. To no longer be stressed. To be able to pursue something and understand something that's even greater than yourself. And not have to have people blocking that or holding you back from it. That's what I'm hearing. Spirit, come through. Help me to help them to understand what I'm saying. I hope this makes sense. Spirit, give me a card here on this flying, please. Give me this flying, please. Yeah, it's flying under the floor. As usual. This is a feminine energy. You could be in your feminine energy. What's this education, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah. This could be on this card, the movement, but there's distance between the people from your education and the people in your life. Could be somebody that you were married to as well. What's this movement about? And there's confusion here. Other people are confused about what it is you're doing. Toxicities, see? Bound to toxicities, or you were bound and you're breaking the chains. That's what's moving away. You're moving away from things that maybe you used to do that you no longer do, but these other people are still doing it. So you're no longer in line with these people. Yeah, and it could be that you're getting a divorce, settling something, a compromise, right? Agree to disagree. Maybe you've tried to do that for a long time and no longer are you settling for that. You want to be with people or aligned with other people that believe the same things that you do, and not have to fight these other people that have no understanding of what you're trying to do or what you're trying to say. And these are signs and synchronicities that you've been seeing recently that are showing you these signs and synchronicities. If you're not understanding them, is really the angel's way of telling you that you're on the right path. You could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could have had a commitment, a family, a home, but it's no longer, it's a toxic home. I guess maybe you at one time settled for that, or tried to make it work, but there was toxicities in this connection. Maybe fighting, angry words in front of the kids and whatever. And you realize you're not as bound or trapped as you thought you were in the situation. Spirit's making a way out. You're seeing these signs, numbers 222, 333, 888, and you're really realizing that this is the angel's way of telling you that you're doing the right thing, even though it may feel hard. It may feel hard. You're a nurturing, caring individual. This is not an easy thing for you to walk away from something like that. Maybe there was a lot of silent treatment and narcissistic behavior that you put up with for a long time. But as you're educating yourself on spirit, you were set free, lockbox, feeling trapped for a long time in this situation. It was an illusion, though. And there was an illusion, rose-colored glasses, that you were happy and you weren't. Yeah, poison, unhealthy relationship. His family dynamic was very unhealthy for the both of you. It's like we can say stuff about karmics, but in the end, karmics are there to teach a lesson to a person. We are somebody else's karmic. If we're not their twin flame, their soulmate, we are their karmic. And we can contribute to an unhealthy, toxic environment just like a karmic does, right? Just like the others do. And it's all to force a person out of their comfort zone and start the transformation process. But if we're there continuing the cycle over and over again, that never can happen. So this was a karmic relationship that ended with your ascension in spirituality. Behaviors that you're not proud of, that you contributed to, because it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to make it work, and it takes two to break it up. So there's a pause, an interlude. You're no longer fighting with this person anymore. You gotta be with this person in their life, basically, because you have kids with this person, right? You have family. But there's no longer gonna be this ugly element. You're moving away from that, possibly even moving locations. Committed to family, but in a different way, is what I'm hearing. Ending the toxicities that you contributed to and they did. No longer diving deep in the muck with this individual. Not trying to force your opinions on this person or make this person see your worth. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Is there any more on this commitment? Yeah, and this is divine timing. Divine timing was at play here. So you could have been in this connection for a long time. But it all had to do with you being ready to change and transform. See your worth, right? There was fears here, limitations. Like I said, toxicities that kept you stuck here. In this relationship, learning something. Your spirit guides were with you all the time, though. Spirit guides were waiting. Trusting the process. I feel like you had to let go of the expectation. I think you held on to something because you have these rose-colored glasses thinking that this was it. This was what relationships were. Maybe this was something that you learned from your parents, fighting, the arguing, the staying together. But something wasn't right here. Something wasn't right the way they treated you. Trash. They disregarded you, this person. You were a gift to this person. But that's not how they felt about you. It's not how they treated you. Self-worth. This is the biggest thing in this situation that you needed to learn. It could be that this was a generational curse in your family. You've seen your parents stick together even though they were toxic for each other. And this was something you learned at a young age, that that's what relationships were, arguing, fighting. Thought that was normal. But there was really nothing normal about it, and it was something that you needed to learn. Fear kept you stuck in a situation, maybe because of money, right? But you were a gift to this person that they never were ever going to see, because you were not their soulmate. You were their karmic. They were your karmic. And you needed to walk away from this person so that you could not so much find your person, but find yourself and love yourself and break the curse in your family of people staying stuck in fear and worrying about the what ifs. So, what if I never find anybody? What if this is the only person I'm ever going to love? Or maybe nobody else is going to love me. So there was a whole lot of fear that went into sticking with this person. And I feel like this was a lesson from the universe. Not so much a test, but I feel like it was maybe a test. A test to break a cycle that nobody else in your family could do generationally. You are a gift. And this breaking open, this shedding of the skin, this fear of the unknown, these expectations that you're no longer entertained, this was a curse breaker in your family. Spirit, come through. And now you're flying high. Now you're really learning and growing and changing, because you're no longer under the stress, blockages, and fears of this connection that you once had. Thank you, Spirit. Judgment. I feel like you judged this connection and you were right, it was wrong. This wasn't the right person for you. I feel like there's an awakening here. You had this family, and it kept you there for the longest time, thinking that that's what families do. They stick together no matter what, come what may. You don't just walk away, especially if you're the feminine. But I feel like if you wouldn't have, this cycle generationally would continue. I feel like there's a lot of guilt associated with breaking up this family, but I feel like if you wouldn't have, this was the message you were going to send to your daughter and your sons. Or your child, whether it's a boy or a girl, that this was okay, and the cycle would have continued of settling for a karmic, when you deserved your person. You deserve to be loved, whether it's your twin flame or not. You could be with a soulmate, somebody that knows your worth, somebody that loves you, not just settles for you and then argues with you and tries to break free from you. It's like, this was really bad. This was a really toxic time for you, and you really needed to have a different way of thinking. You have Six of Wands here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's a disappointment here. I feel like for a long time you failed to recognize who this person was to you and tried to make them into something they weren't, right? The heritage here. Ten of Pentacles. You really believed that this was what? Maybe you've accumulated a house, a home, things, right? and you felt like this was your person. But Spirit, it was trying to explain to you it wasn't. This was never your person. Right here, test of faith, 9 of Wands. What's that song? Should I stay or should I go? I feel like you lived your life saying that to yourself. I want to go, but I don't want to break up my family. I don't want my family to go through that. Maybe that's something that happened a lot in your family, a lot of breakups. Like broken family. You didn't want to do that. Ace of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but you were always manifesting a new opportunity, and then a new opportunity presented itself. But look what happened here at the Tower. Something had to end here in order for that to happen. Yeah. You've had a lot of misfortune, setbacks, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, justice in reverse, maybe people being unjust to you. A lot of unfairness. Yeah. But you put up with it for the sake of the family. Put up with it because you felt you had to. Your Spirit. But you were depressed, feeling disconnected. Cups, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, maybe the two of you. You have this leadership quality, King of Wands. Somebody that wants to come towards you. This is a protective person. You could be that person. You could be even in your feminine energy. You could be that king. There's a transformative nature here. Third eye opening. You were meant to be an inspiration to others. There's all this rapid change, 8 of Wands, that is happening. There's an emperor here. An emperor that might be coming towards you. A higher level soulmate. You're going to be celebrated. 4 of Wands. Oh my God, look at this, 10 of Cups. Ultimate, this emperor is going to fill your cups. The devil is here. The devil's here, man. This is something that you had to break free. I feel like you have to break free. There's like this final test that you have to break free from. This codependency and expectations, controlling situations. You need to break free from that. That's the devil on your shoulder. Or maybe even the traditional relationship where the marriage was so important to you. The title. That's something that, maybe that was told to you that marriage was the ultimate thing. And that proved something. And you needed to break free from that. It wasn't the end all be all. Love doesn't have to come with a ring or a paper. I feel like this is something that you thought this was all about marriage, the family, the kids. This was all part of that happy ever after. But there's a non-traditional element here. It doesn't always have to come with a box and a kneel of a ring. Doesn't have to. The sun is here, illuminating your purpose that's going in a different direction from where you began. You've come a long way, but happiness is here in the cards. Somebody's going to offer you their cup of love. Somebody who could be a high-level soulmate. Somebody who's going to show you a different way. Respect, right? Something you haven't had in a long time. Big changes are happening here. Big changes. It's going to happen quick. You might be afraid. You might have to break those chains, those bonds of control with this person. You might be scared. Feel guilty about the family breaking up. There's all these things that are going to come to the surface. But in the end, look at this. Wish come true. This is what you've been manifesting. Don't feel guilty about your wish. I mean, if you had a family with this person and no longer is that the case, you can still have a family. It's still a family. You're still tied to this person. There can be respect here. There can be restoration of this connection. Not reconciliation, but you can mend the bonds. You're always going to be tied in a sense to this person because of marriage or even family if you didn't marry this person. They're always going to be a part of your life in the sense of these children. The connection's always there, but it doesn't have to be toxic anymore. That's the point. It can be on a different level. You can still have your family. You can still provide for your family. You still be there for your family. It's just in a different way. And maybe that is a disappointment to you because you want it to be different than your family. But this is a test of faith and flow, going with the flow of what is really meant for you. And it wasn't with this person. As sad as that is, as hard as that is to accept for you. But what you're setting up is an example to your children, so that this cycle does not have to be repeated in their lifetime. Or your generational, right? Generationally, for your family, you're breaking the chains of this addiction. This addictive to a person behaviors that happens in your family. The chains, the bonds of this marriage, this commitment that means so much, when really, if it's toxic, it means very little. You were karmic to this person. They were your karmic. Now it's time for you to recognize that and to move toward your happily ever after, which is with another person, and it doesn't mean that's going to be marriage. But there's the expectation no longer there for that. Whatever the universe is gifting you, you're grateful for. You move forward with your gifts towards a person who's going to appreciate it. And not just take from you, or not just down you. And really you're setting this person free to find their person. So what does that show to your children? If you have children with this person. That if things don't work out, it doesn't mean that you got to try harder. Yes, you should. But if you are banging your head against the wall over and over again, putting out, and they're not accepting or even reciprocating, what message does that send to the next generation? That's something you have to decide. But change is going to happen once you make the choice. Change is going to happen. Change is inevitable anyways for all of us, but I feel like this is a big test, a test of faith. A generational curse being broken. An example being set. That's what I feel. The law of mentalism. Get clarity on the core values and commit to what matters. What truly matters. Look at that mirror. That person in the mirror. What do you truly want? Right? The law of intention. Give up complaining. And give up settling. If you're not happy and you're complaining, what does that tell you about this connection? You cannot force another person to fit into a mold. This is the control that you need to let go of. People are who they are. Accept that. And if that doesn't align with you, it's inevitably going to end, right? And what you need to do in that situation is not try to force them to stay. It's love and light and letting go. Letting go is probably something that you really have a hard time doing. As a compassionate, loving person, but also a controlling one, you need to let that go. Let them go. With love and light, and not, anger, animosity. Because it doesn't serve anybody. And especially if you have children, it ain't good for them to see that. The law of healing. This is something that needs to happen here. The law of healing. Transform your trauma and transform your life. Whatever happened in the past, leave it there. but you need to heal from it first, obviously. You can't bury it. It needs to come to the surface so that you can let it go. You're staying stuck in a toxic relationship with a person who's also toxic. And it hasn't worked for either one of you. You can still heal the relationship even if you're not reconciling with the person. And the last one, the law of forgiveness. Release all judgments and set yourself free. Blame game is not going to help any one of you in this situation. It's not. The two of you, possibly both of you, come from toxic relationships. You've stayed stuck trying to make something work that didn't. Forgive yourselves, but also forgive each other. This is not the time to blame. You still have a family that you can be friends with this person. Right? Soaring. Maybe forgive yourself for leaving this situation. Past, present, or future energy. And realize you did it for the best for all involved here. It wasn't a selfish act. And if that's what they said to you or that's what they thought in their mind, it wasn't a selfish act. You were doing them a favor, whether they recognize it or not. You were setting both of you free so that you both could find happiness. And maybe they don't see that right now, but they will when they heal, when they really look inward, or when they find that person that they are looking for and trying to manifest. Right here, I feel like there's one more card I got to put in here, and this is the law of habit. Ignite your creativity with a pattern interrupt. I feel like this was a habit, the two of you. It was a habit of fighting with each other. It was a habit of controlling the narrative, but it was a habit. You guys were together so long that you just became a habit and not really a healthy relationship, a healthy connection. It was just familiar, and the fear of walking away from the familiar is what kept you stuck. Interrupt the pattern, and everything else will change after that. And maybe there will be times of sorrow and regret and looking back and feeling bad about the situation at hand. What could we have done differently? But really what needs to happen is the healing of the pattern of being with toxic people and not recognizing it for what it is and trying to fit it into something it's not. Thank you so much for joining me on Empress Aries 888. Please like and subscribe and join my tribe because I'd love to have you. Till next time, be safe out there, my friends. Be blessed.